Recording. Today's training is about overcoming all the objections. So if you guys are joining us, today's pretty much going to be a great training on how to overcome all objections. So we're pretty much going to go over all of it. So if there's anyone that needs help with their marketing, need help getting started with maybe any of the technology side of it, or you need to share your screen, you can always schedule a Zoom call with us. Zoom calls are strictly for you need help with sharing your screen, or I need to share my screen. You can always text or call or email us with any questions that we can just answer. If it's just something simple, you just text or email us. Our goal is to partner with you. So if you have something that you need help with, go to calendly.com/Best Chicago Wholesale Deals to set up a Zoom call with us. My number, my email, any questions that come up, okay? Also share any success stories, any obstacles, questions, any deals you need help analyzing, you can send to us as well. We can partner on the deals. Today, we're going to go over objection annihilation. So I got this training from one of my mentors, Sean Terry, who I have pretty much purchased all his courses and studied all his courses, and he created a really good objection annihilation training, and I wanted to share that with everyone as well, because this is going to go over pretty much all the objections going on, okay? So objection annihilation, so this is when you're negotiating with the seller, you're making an offer, and they have an objection that you have to overcome, right? And this happens almost every deal before you get a signed contract. So you make an offer. So the objection annihilation, all the questions that we're going to go through is you made an offer and they come up with an objection. They might want to do it, but they object, right? So the objection number one we're going to talk about is I want to think about it, right? So this is our response. So I'm going to come up with the objection, and then we're going to say the response, right? So you can say, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that, but would you agree that two minds are better than one? I mean, if I leave and you have questions, the chance of you picking up the phone and calling me is slim to none. Wouldn't you agree? So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. What specifically would you like to think about? Is it the contract? Is it me? Or the process? Or how about the price? And then just be quiet, and find out what exactly is the problem. And then he goes, the price. Okay, Mr. Seller, do you realize that we're paying cash? That our investors are paying cash, and our investors will be paying all your closing costs as well. Remember, you don't have to pay any commissions to a realtor, so you're saving thousands of dollars. So with that being said, what price do you have in mind? And then you shut up, be quiet and try to get the price. And maybe the seller, I was thinking more like 135. Okay, Mr. Seller, you're killing me here. If I agree to 135, can we get this deal done today? Nail down, close. Yes, great. Let's get this contract filled out full. So, you got to figure out, is it me? When you say, is it me? Is it the contract? Is it the process? Or is it the price? Maybe they don't understand the contract, right? So, okay, now pull out the contract and explain it to them. Maybe they don't like you, right? Maybe it's something you did, right? Maybe it's the process. They don't know the next steps. They don't know what's going to happen next. So explain that to them, right? But if it's the price, you can use this objection annihilation script here, where you just try to nail them down on the price. So this is a great way to overcome the I got to think about it objection. Someone says, I want to sleep on it. Pretty much the same thing as I got to think about it. Here's your comeback for that. You're right. This is a big decision, isn't it? You told me earlier that you really wanted to sell your mother's house because you want to settle the estate, pay off some bills. Is that correct? And Mr. Seller says, yes. You see that by selling the property to me, you can achieve that, right? And Mr. Seller, what is your concern? Is it me, the process, the contract, or the price? So, this is an ongoing thing, right? Like, is it me? Is it the contract or the price? So you're trying to figure out what they're objecting to, right? So when they say I got to think about it or I got to sleep on it, it's not it's something that they're objecting to, So if they say it's a contract, I don't like being rushed through something this important, right? So, okay, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. So let's go through the contract line by line so you can ask any questions. Would that be okay? So, you pull up the contract, explain everything in detail, line by line by line, and try to get them comfortable with the contract. And if they understand everything, let's sign it, right? So answer all the questions to get the end of the contract, have them sign the contract. If they still want to sleep on it, say, okay, Mr. Seller, why don't we sign the contract and I'll call you in the morning? You can say yes, and I'll proceed, or no, I'll rip up the contract. Does that sound fair? Right? So this is a way to overcome the objection. Again, I want to sleep on it. I want to, if he says, it's the contract, I don't understand it, then this is the way to overcome that. The first one was, they said it's the price, right? So that's the way to overcome that one. And with the price too, you want to bring the lowest sold, active, and pending comps that you can find that support your offer to the appointment. And you want to bring a repair checklist too if they're stuck on the price. So here's the third one. The seller says, you make an offer and the seller goes, I have several other investors that will be looking at the property, so I want to wait, for them to make an offer to see where they're at, right? So, okay, Mr. Seller, that's kind of a shock. I'm sorry, Mr. I don't play bidding wars. I'll have to withdraw my offer. Stand up, take the offer, start packing up. Is there something I said that makes you not like me? And the seller goes, no. Okay, then you like me, right? Are you confident I can close this deal? Yes. Is the price fair? Question mark. Yes. Do you know that most of the mail you receive is from newbie investors that went to a weekend seminar and will tell you anything to get you to sign the contract? You know that, right? Yes. Then I don't understand, Mr. So I'm sitting here with you. You like me, the price, you're confident that I can get the deal done, but you want to waste your time talking to other, so-called investors. You'll lose the one sitting right in front of you. That doesn't make sense, does it, Mr. Seller? No, great. Would you like to close on 13th or 15th? Start filling out the contract. So this is just a way to overcome the objection. If he goes, oh, I have a ton of other investors that are going to go look at it, and you don't have to get up and act shocked, but you can act like, oh, offended, right? Like, I'm offended that you'll most of these investors are newbies that just attended, so this is just a way to overcome that objection with someone saying they have other investors looking at the property. What makes you different than everyone else? That's a great question, Mr. Seller. I'm different because I'm honest, ethical, and we get deals done. I've been doing this for a while. I have a great team of people around me that are accomplished, produce results. So the question is, Mr. Seller, would you prefer a check or bank wire when we close your property? Wire, great. Please put your name here. So if they ask a question of what makes you different from everyone else, you just, if you're partnering with us, you're going to use our team, right? You're going to use our reputation. We've closed thousands of transactions. Literally, we close 2-3 deals every week for the past many years. So I mean, it's like you're going to use our reputation. So you can use, as far as if you've never done a deal, you can leverage our reputation, our team, and say you work with, and you got to be confident, right? Like, this is why we offer you proof of funds and unlimited proof of funds. We actually have the funds where we can close the deals ourselves if the deal is that good. So when you're making offers to sellers, you're backed by millions of dollars of funds that we have, raising private money that we're ready to close transactions. So when you're making offers, do it with confidence. You have the backing, you have the investors, which you do, and and if we're wholesaling it, we have the investors to sell to. So anytime you're making offers and talking to sellers, do it with confidence that you can get it done. If I can't get this price, I'm not going to sell it. So if the seller objects to you and says, if I'm not going to get this price, I'm not going to sell the home, right? So if the seller says that, I can appreciate, Mr. Seller, understand your frustration with the market, but please let me ask you a question. What makes you believe that your house is worth $30,000 more than your neighbor that has a very similar house down the street and mine is in better condition? But this is where you bring the comps with you, right? You show them the comps, that are supporting your offer that are nearby. Well, if you were a buyer, which house will you buy? Which house would you buy? The one that's 30,000 more or $30,000 less? That's similar. Of course, you would buy the house that's $30,000 less, right? So you want to sell your house, Mr. Seller. So what makes you think I or any other buyer will pay a premium for this house, right? And Mr. Seller, you do realize that we are paying cash and we'll be paying all your closing costs. I wouldn't say I would say we, say that, you have a group of investors that you work with, right? And we'll be paying all your closing costs. And remember, you don't have to pay any commissions to a realtor. So you're going to save thousands of dollars. And with that in mind, what's the best you can do on the price? Mr. Seller says 135. Mr. Seller, great. I agree to the 135. Can we get this deal done today? He says, yes, great. Right. And a good thing to bring again, if I can't get this price, I'm not going to sell it, is the comps, and then bring the active comps, bring the sold comps that support your offer, and just show them like, hey, well, why would I buy your house for 100,000 when your neighbor's house down the street on the, we made your house down the street just sold for 80,000. It's the same house, the same similar house, right? So next one is the objection of your price is too low. So when similar to the last one, but the seller, you make your offer and the seller goes, your price is too low. Okay, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. And I understand the price is low compared to what Mr. Greenberg's house down the street sold for. Well, first off, it hasn't sold. It's been on the market for 187 days. Also, the house is 1,876 square feet and your house is 1,350 square feet. That's not a comparable sale by any means. Did you know a certified appraiser needs 3 sold comparables within 10% of the square footage that sold in the last 90 days in a 1 mile radius? With that in mind, here are the comps that fit the appraiser's criteria. And this when you bring the comps with you that support your offer. As you can see, Mr. Seller, if you put your house on the market today, you'll get roughly 145,000 for the property. But remember, you have to pay realtor commissions, closing costs. More than likely, you'll spend some money on cleaning up the property. If you get down to your net cash, net cash in your pocket numbers, you'll see that the $135,000 offer price is very fair offer. Wouldn't you agree? Great. When would you like to close, on the 13th or 15th? So you should know the comps. Like if the seller speaks a comp out, go look it up online. And so a lot of times they're looking at a comp that sold like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, or a comp that is, 1,000 square foot bigger than their home, right? So if the seller brings up a comp, look it up, look at, how it compares or doesn't compare to their house, and then bring the comps, the lowest sold comps, lowest active and pending comps that you can find that support your offer. And you want to bring those with you, print them out. Or if it's a phone conversation, you want to, have the owner be on the computer and say, hey, go to this comp here, to this comp here, right? Objection number 7, your price is too low. We're not going to give it away. Mr. Seller, what price do you absolutely have to have? Ouch. Based on that, there are a couple of real important questions I need to ask you. Specifically, why do you feel your home is worth, 200,000, 100,000 more than your neighbors? Because my house has a new roof, new AC, new bathroom, new kitchen. And then you go, Mr. Seller, in today's market, that means you simply brought your home up to the selling standard. Buyers expect to have these items, not to pay a premium, right? If you're purchasing a home, 2 similar homes were for sale, one for 200,000 and another for 220,000. Which would you buy? Wouldn't you want to use the extra 20,000 to do what you wanted to the home? Don't you think the buyers would feel just like you? Of course they would. That's why I came up with the price of of 190,000, which is a fair cash offer, fair cash offer with the hassle of showing your property, you don't have to fix anything, you don't have to spend thousands on real estate commissions or fees. Does that make sense? Great. When would you like to close, the 13th or 15th? So if the objection is your price is too low, we're going to, we're not going to give away. This is, like a kind of a second way to overcome the objection is just explain, like, listen, your neighbors' houses are selling for this amount, how do you expect other people to pay, 50, $60,000 more for your house when your house your neighbor's house down the street is selling for, $100,000 or $50,000 less, right? So objection number 8, I have no place to go once I sell. So, okay, Mr. Seller, what if we could disperse 50% of your proceeds at the close of escrow and give you 1 or 2 weeks to move out? Would that work for you? Great, of course. We'll have to be looking for a place prior to closing so we can have everything lined up, ready to go on closing day. Does that sound fair? Great. When would you like to close? 13th or 15th? So a lot of times the seller needs the funds from the closing to move to a new home. So we can offer them, hey, we'll give you, 50% of the proceeds from the sale, and the other 50% will stay in escrow until you're moved out of the house. And once we confirm you moved out of the house, which we can give you 1 to 2 weeks, we will disperse the rest of the funds. So you can do that with sellers that need a place if they have no place to go once they sell, to help them get to another place, right? And a lot of times the seller needs that funds to purchase or rent another house, right? Objection number 9, I have to talk it over with my family member, my wife, my brother, my sister, or my uncle. So you make the offer and the seller goes, I have to talk it over with, my uncle, my family, my friend. So if you ask this question on the phone prior to making the appointment, then you will rarely get this objection. So what you want to do is ask them before you go on the appointment or before you, make the offer is, they need to purchase, you want to make sure who's the decision maker, right? Like before you go on the appointment, say, hey, are you going to make the decision, or is it, your wife? Is it your dad, your brother, your uncle? Who makes the decision? He goes, I make the decision, right? So, why do you have to talk to your, family member in order to sell the house, right? I thought we discussed this before I got on the phone with you, or before I went on the appointment. So another thing is ask, I need to purchase on a property this week. We need to purchase on a property this week. So if we like each other, we can come to an agreement on terms and price. And are you the right person to make that decision? If they use this objection, you can respond this way. I can definitely appreciate, Mr. How do you think your partner or spouse, etc., will respond to what we've discussed today? Yes, they might, but I think I should check with them. Okay, here's an idea. You can introduce me to him or her. We can go over this together. Sometimes things get lost in translation. That's if she has any questions, I can address them right away. Is she available right now to talk? So about 50% of the time, the seller will just make the decision and sign the deal. But yeah, you want to be tenacious. Like if if they go, I gotta talk to my wife, I can't do this without her approving. Okay, Mr. Seller, let's get your wife on the phone, give her a call, right? So you can do that as well. So objection number 10, I'm not sure I can sell it at that price. Okay, Mr. Seller, how far off are we? Or, okay, Mr. Seller, what price are you thinking? When sellers name the price, move to objection 6 or 7. So go back to 6 or 7 when we talked about overcoming the price objections. So I'm not sure if I can sell at that price. Okay, Mr. How far off are we? And maybe he comes down 10, 20 grand, right? Okay, Mr. Seller, what price are you thinking? And then when the seller names the price, go back to the slides, objection 6 and 7, where we discussed 2 ways to overcome the price objection, okay? So objection number 11 is I'm not comfortable with the process or the contract. So if the seller goes, I'm not comfortable with the process or the contract, you say, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Seller. I must not have done my job thoroughly. I'm sorry for that. Please let me know specifically about the process or contract you're not comfortable with. Credibility, deeper rapport. So yellow or green personality type. So yellow or green means like analytical or social or driver, right? That we talked about in the previous trainings. So you want to build credibility, you want to build a deeper rapport and slowly grow through the contract will solve this objection. So it may be someone that's analytical that may be objecting to the process or the contracts, someone that wants to know everything. So with them, you want to, pull out the contract, read it line by line. Then after it's signed, you want to go over the process, say in like 2 or 3 days, we're gonna get a title commitment from our attorney. We're gonna make sure everything's clear on title, that we can sell it for the price that we're buying it for. And then over the course of the next 5 days, we're gonna get our investors in the property, our contractors in the property, maybe 2 or 3 times to inspect the property. And then after that, we should be able to close within the week after that. So 2 weeks from today, hopefully. If not, it could be 3 weeks up to 4 weeks. We have 30 days on our contract. So that's the entire process. And if there's any issues that come up with our inspections, which I'm sure there won't, which I'm hoping there won't be, we should be ready to close within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. How do I know this isn't a scam? So objection number 12 is, how do I know this is not a scam? How is that, Mr. Seller? Listen for the real objection. Let me ask you a question. If I can prove to you that this is not a scam, would you move forward with me today? The reason for this objection is a lack of credibility, not enough rapport, rushing through the process with the wrong personality type. So how can you prove it that you're not a scam is basically it's good to have an attorney on your team. We work with attorneys for all of our closings, so if you don't have an attorney, you can reach out to us. We can, if you're in our area, we can give you their information. But a good thing to do is have an attorney and title company on your team that you work with, and you can send them. You can say, "Hey, call my attorney, call my title company," and they'll pretty much vouch for me that we are credible, we are real. I'm not ready yet. It's happening way too fast. So objection number 13 is I'm not ready yet. This is happening way too fast. So this objection will arise when rapport or credibility has not been properly established for the personality type. So to overcome this objection, you must get to the root of the issue by asking these questions. Say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Seller. I must be moving too quickly. Please forgive me. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Seller? What most concerns you? Is it me? Is it my company? Is it the process? Is it the contract? Or is it the price?" And then be quiet and listen. If it is anything but price, take it slow and start the presentation all over again. If it's the price, then ask, "Okay, I can appreciate, Mr. Seller, but what price do you have in mind? And how do you come up with that number?" And go back to objections 6 and 7 to overcome the price objection, right? So objection number 14 is, here's an appraisal I just had completed. Look at the appraisal, see if it's as close to the average of the 3 comps you selected. If it's close, then you can continue with making your offer and move forward. But you want to back out your realtor commissions, you want to back out closing costs, repair costs, investor profit. If the number is retail, the gap is between where you need to be in the appraisal. Do this. Say, "Thank you, Mr. Seller, for this information. I appreciate it. Now, as you know, I am an investor and do not buy properties for retail. If that were the case, I would have 30,000 in current inventory to pick from. So, Mr. Seller, you can realize that I'm paying cash, that we are paying all closing costs. And remember, you don't have to pay any commissions to a realtor, so you'll save thousands of dollars. So with that being said, what price did you have in mind?" And shut up and listen. If they are close to your number, you can use the justification clause. If not, state your number and see what they say. So they do pull out on an appraisal, and maybe it's close to your number, maybe it's far off, but maybe it's like way above your offer number. You just want to tell them, "Hey, listen, I'm an investor, here to make a profit." Of course, you got to factor in that you're not paying realtor commission, which is about 6%. You're not paying closing costs, which is about 2%. You're not paying any repair costs. So maybe you brought a repair checklist with you, and then you say, "Hey, this probably needs around $60,000-$70,000 in repairs." So that right there, that appraisal you got, that your actual value is a lot lower with all these repairs, right? And then we need to make a profit, right? So you want to let him know that all these benefits of working with you. And how we position ourselves is that we work with investors. Like if you have no intent of purchasing the home yourself and you are just going to wholesale it, how you position yourself with the seller is that you work with a large group of investors and you basically help them acquire properties. You're like the acquisitions team for them. You help them find great deals, and then they pay you a fee for finding them great deals. And that's how you work, right? That's if you have no intent of purchasing the home yourself. But if you do have money and you do maybe are looking to purchase the home yourself, you can say, yeah, I'm buying it. But if you're not, you say, my investors are buying it. So just do everything in truth, right? Objection number 15. I like to run this contract by my lawyer first. That's a great idea, Mr. Seller. I encourage all the sellers to speak to legal advice. Let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. If your attorney gives you the thumbs up, are you ready to move forward with this contract? If yes, great. Why don't we just do this? Let's put a clause in the contract. Contract is subject to seller's attorney approval on or before, per 3 days or 5 days. We can execute the contract now. You can consult your attorney. If he approves, then we can move forward. If not, we can cancel the contract or make any necessary modifications. Does that sound fair to you? Closing questions, start filling out the contract. If no, then it's another objection. Okay, Mr. Seller, what is your concern? Is it me? Is it the process? Is it the contract or the price? What's your concern? If it's the price, go back to objections number 6 or 7. If it's the contract, you want to go over the contract. If it's the process, you want to explain the process. So always use that. Is it me? Is it the process? Is it the contract? Is it the price? What is the objection, right? So last objection is objection number 16. Someone, you make an offer and then the seller goes, hey, my friend is a realtor and she said the house is worth X amount of dollars, right? Or the tax assessment says it's worth a lot more than your offer. So look at the numbers, see if it's closer to the average of the 3 comps that, or if it's close to the offer that you're making. If it's close, then you can continue with making the offer and trying to back out, the realtor commissions, closing costs, repair costs, investor profit. If the number is retail and the gap is, too wide where you need to be, and you should say, thank you, Mr. Seller, for this information. I appreciate it. Now, as you know, I'm an investor and do not buy properties for retail. If that were the case, I would have 30,000 current inventory to pick from. So, Mr. Seller, you do realize that I'm paying cash. I'll be paying all your closing costs as well. Remember, you don't have to pay any commissions to a realtor. So you're saving thousands of dollars. So with that being said, what price did you have in mind? So shut up and listen. If they're close to your number, you can use the justification clause. If not, state your numbers and see what they say. And again, you want to say, and my investors will be paying all your closing costs, if you're not buying yourself, okay? So those are 16 objections that we went over, and I would say 90% of all the objections would probably be one of these, and I would say 95% of all the objections will probably be one of these 16, okay? If anyone has any questions about this, let me know. And again, always bring always have the comps with you, have the repair checklist with you. Anytime there's a price objection, you want to use the comps or repair checklist. And you want to just say, hey, that's the main objection is always going to be price. So you want to bring that with you at all times, okay? So if there's any questions about that, let me know. We're going to get into Proverbs chapter 27 to end the night. We're going to go over this pretty quick. So I like to teach the wisdom of God in our business, in everything we do in life, because I believe that is our purpose. Why God put us here, the Bible says, is to love God with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul, and all of our strength. That's our purpose. That's why we're here, is to love God, obey his commands, obey what he says in the Bible, and obey it to the best of our ability, right? Well, none of us could be perfect, but we try to the best of our ability to love God with our life and our businesses. And I believe if you love God in your business, in your personal life, and you learn what He wants to teach you through the Bible, what He wants you to do, I believe that's the best prosperity in your life. That's going to prosper you more than anything, not just financially, not just in resources, but in your relationships and with other people. So Proverbs chapter 27, it says, don't brag about tomorrow since you don't know what the day will bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your lips. So testimonials, right? Get testimonials. You have lots of testimonials in your business. If someone says something good about you and your business, try to get a video, try to get a text message with a testimonial, try to get an email with a testimonial so that you can use it for advertising, right? So let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. So that's what the best businesses, the greatest businesses in the world, the biggest ones, other people just praise them, right? And they grew and grew and grew because of how they served other people, right? A stone is heavy and a sand is weighty, but the resentment caused by a fool is even heavier. Anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. So it says jealousy is more dangerous than being angry. It's more dangerous than uh, uh, wrath. So don't be jealous. Like jealousy is, you see your neighbor get in a nice new car or a nice new, they want a vacation and you want to do that, and it causes jealousy. Then it causes you to, maybe go into debt, use your credit card just to go on vacation, right? And then this is a cycle, epidemic across the United States where we're just trying to keep up with our neighbors, get the nicest car, go on the nicest vacations so that we can post it on Facebook, Instagram, so everyone can see us. It's just jealous. It comes from jealousy, right? And then in our businesses too, we look at other people more successful than us, and it causes jealousy, and we don't want that in our businesses and our personal life. We want to stay away from that. We want to praise people, right? If someone's doing great in their business, doing great in life, we want to praise them and congratulate them, right? And be happy for them, not be jealous, right? An open rebuke is better than hidden love. So an open rebuke is better than hidden love. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. So a sincere friend that rebukes you, someone that just tells you the truth, right? Maybe you're going the wrong way, right? The wrong way in your business or the wrong way in your personal life, and your friend rebukes you and says, hey, don't do that. That's you're going down the wrong path. It says that is better than hidden love. And that is better for many kisses from an enemy. So be open to rebuke, open to correction, open to someone correcting you, right? And we should always be open to that. A person who is full refuses honey, but even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. A person who strays from home is like a bird that strays from its nest. The heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense. And that's what we need. We need friends around us that are our counsel, right? Our friends. That's why everyone should be part of a church, that actually teaches the Bible, not just parts of it, but all of it, right? The good parts and the bad parts. So we should all be part of a community of friends, of believers that all grow together and do life together. Never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's, when disaster strikes. You won't have to ask your brother for assistance. It's better to go to a neighbor than to a brother who lives far away. So never abandon a friend that needs you. Like if there's a friend that is in distress, that needs help, don't abandon them, right? Give be generous, give to them, help them out, right? Be wise, my child, and make my heart glad that I will be able to answer my critics. So I'm going to get through this last slide here, and we're going to end. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precaution. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers consequences. So the prudent is a person that is uh, they always look at the future, right? About what's going to happen. They're diligent. They're good managers. So they, everything they do, the decisions they make today, they see like, hey, is this going to affect people negatively in the future, right? If it does, they'll avoid it, right? So they foresee the danger and they take precautions. It says, but the people that are not prudent, they just go blindly and they suffer the consequences, right? For example, casinos are coming up everywhere, right? So casino people see, the fools see it and they see, oh yeah, money on, our state, our city is going to make a lot of money through this casino. We're going to make millions of dollars. But the prudent, the wise people see it as, hey, what about that guy that has no self-control, and he goes to the casino and puts all his rent money down on blackjack and loses all the money, right? And he gets into debt, and he's got to now, sell his car, sell all his belongings. He's gonna get evicted. He's gonna lose his house, right? So it's just like, you don't think about these people. All they think about is the money, right? So the prudent see the consequences of what's going to happen, where the fools just look at what's, the benefits going to happen in the short term. Get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does it for foreigners. So get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does it for foreigners. A loud, cheerful greeting early in the morning will be taken as a curse. Don't be cheerful and loud early in the morning while everyone's sleeping, because you're going to be waking everyone else. So everyone's going to think it's a curse, right? So we're going to end here in chapter 27. So I just want to end in prayer. Just thank God for all his blessings. Just a shout out to a lot of you guys too. There's a lot of guys in the group doing a lot of work, making a lot of offers, getting deals under contract, closing deals. So we have a ton of deals pending closing. We have a ton of deals under contract. So you can see on our wholesale website here is that we have a pending deal in Avondale with Eric. There's like $20,000 spread. We closed this deal here. We made about 20,000. This deal's closing this week in Brighton Park with Hugo. Should make about 12,000. This deal, Grand Crossing, is closing. Should make about 10,000. This deal in Rosen, my partner Junior. This deal here in West Inglewood is our partner Jerry, who's in this group. This deal here is with my partner Andre. This deal here is with my partner Alan, who's in this group. That's about a $15,000 spread. This deal here pending Washington Park is who's this deal with? I forgot. It's with my partner Bart. And then we have tons of deals that we still have available, and we have I actually got 4 more contracts on the last couple of days. I haven't put on this list yet, so we have a ton of deals, ton of partners closing deals, and it's just business is great. So appreciate everyone, and just want to thank God for all his blessings. Just want to thank you, Father, for all your blessings and giving us your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. Thank you for everything. Everything is yours. The Bible says that you own everything. Our businesses are yours. Our finances are yours. Our houses are yours. Our family is yours. The food that we eat is from you. The clothes that we wear is from you. So I just want to thank you, Father, for giving us everything we need every day. Thank you for all your blessings. everything that you provide for us every day. And we just ask that your kingdom come, you do your will on earth as it is in heaven, come to all of our hearts, all of our families, our friends, our loved ones, come to all of our hearts, all of our minds, and just let us be open and receive your presence, receive your Holy Spirit, and wash our minds, purify our minds to be more like you every day, and to use us for your will, right? Use us for your will in our businesses and our finances. Use us so that we can be a blessing to other people, and use us so that we can help others solve problems, and just be a blessing and be generous and give. So we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. So we will be back live next week, 7 p.m. here in this Facebook group, and hope to, if you haven't done a deal yet, hopefully by the next week you'll have a deal under contract if you haven't had one yet. So I pray for that for you guys every day, for you guys to prosper, for you guys to succeed in this business. And we'll be live next week, Tuesday. So God bless everyone.